As I wake up and try to see through the dark, suddenly it hits me. I can't move again, and lately it's happening more often. And he seems to be getting closer and closer every time I encounter him. He comes from the far end of the room. He's darker than the night, and his eyes send a fear through me that I've never felt before. There's no body movement. I can't form words to yell. Nothing. All I can do is watch him slowly glide across the floor and come towards my bed. He sits at the foot of the bed watching me, knowing I can do nothing to stop him. I now know that what I was feeling then is known as sleep paralysis. A couple of words I had never encountered in my life before. This all started when I was locked up. I received a new cellie when he looks over me and says, "You want to summon a demon?" I look at him with the look of, I guess I could not tell you what kind of look I gave him, because I was dumbfounded that he's sitting here asking me if I want to summon a demon. I think to myself, what must someone be thinking to themselves to just suddenly look up at you and say, "Want to summon a demon?" Like, hey, sure, why not? I've got nothing better to do. And if you can't hear the sarcasm in that, buddy, well, I don't know what to tell you. As I sit there and watch David draw symbols onto the floor, mumble to himself, look up at the sky, and just have this craziest look I've ever seen on someone before, followed by the loudest bang that I have ever encountered in my life. Now let me tell you that this bang reverberated in our chicken coop cells for over 5 seconds. Now, our room, if you want to call it this, it's 2 tiers, 40 bunk beds across the whole floor. You've got 80 plus men all jumping out of their beds like, what the fuck just happened? Only about 10 of us knew what this guy was doing. When David stands up off the floor from the Indian stance he was in, he looks at us and says, "He's here," and lets out one hell of a demonic laugh, if you want to call it that. Now, I don't need to tell you, but at that point in time, I'm shitting bricks like, what the fuck is this dude doing? All we could do is look at him, walk over to his bunk, put his head on the pillow, and just have a smile on his face that looked like he just ate the biggest bowl of fucking Cheerios in his life. That night, as I went to bed, I had my first encounter with what now I call the Hat Man. But as I closed my eyes, I could see this huge shadow just tower over me as I closed my eyes for bed. The next morning, a couple of the guards come in to do what's called head count. When one of the guards stops at the edge of my bunk and says, "Did you guys hear what happened in here yesterday?" And we're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Well, apparently, the guards from the night shift encountered a little girl in a white dress that kept going back and forth the second tier. But when they would look into our cell, there was nothing there. So throughout the whole night, we all, talked about it and we laughed about it. And from that point on, I never did encounter the Hat Man again. That was until a couple of months later when I got out. I was laying in bed. When I came to, I couldn't move. I couldn't speak. All I could do was dart my eyes back and forth through the room when it came from out of the corner. This entity stood as tall as my ceiling and darker than the night. I can't say it glided towards me, I can't say it crawled to me, but the next thing I knew, it's at the foot of my bed. From the foot of my bed, I could just see it start to come up on to my feet, to my legs, and pause there for a second. The heaviness is felt on my legs from where it's putting all its weight on me. I shut my eyes and try to form the words to try and put a prayer together, but I can't. When I feel it come off of me, but yet as I open my eyes, I cannot see him, but I can feel him. And I hear two words in my ear. He's here. I shut my eyes, and when I come to, it's morning. I jump out of bed. My pillow's full of sweat, and I'm sure tears from the night before. And I'm thinking, oh my God, okay, it's done. But when I look over to my right, my son's coming out of his room. And he looks at me with this look of fright that I know all too well. And then he lets out the words that I will never forget. The Hat Man came to see me.